Did you know there's a shocking scientific discovery about our nighttime habits that could explain why millions of people around the world wake up more tired than when they went to bed? Researchers from renowned universities have just revealed something that will completely change the way you view that bedtime snack. We're talking about 4 seemingly harmless foods you probably have in your kitchen right now that could be literally sabotaging your breathing during sleep, causing pauses in your breathing you never even realized were happening. Imagine waking up every morning feeling like a truck has run over you, even though you've slept a full 8 hours. Imagine your brain functioning as if enveloped in a dense fog, your concentration fragmented, your mood unstable, and worse still, imagine discovering that all of this could be caused by those little nocturnal pleasures you consider harmless. What scientists have discovered goes beyond what anyone could have imagined. These 4 specific snacks don't just superficially disrupt your sleep, they trigger a cascade of reactions in your body that can lead to paused breathing during the night, a condition that affects more than 1 billion people globally and often goes unnoticed for years. The scary truth is that while you think you're just satisfying a craving or relaxing before bed, your body is entering a state of alert that will last all night. Your throat muscles begin to relax inappropriately. Your airways narrow, your tongue shifts, and without you even realizing it, your breathing stops. Not once, not twice, but potentially hundreds of times during a single night. Each pause deprives your brain of oxygen, forces your heart to work harder, and fragments your sleep in ways that no sleep monitoring app can adequately detect. Most disturbingly, these findings show that it's not just weight gain or indigestion. We're talking about profound neurological changes in sleep architecture, systemic inflammation that spreads throughout the body, and a vicious cycle that perpetuates itself night after night. You may be experiencing symptoms that you attribute to work, stress, aging, or simply the fatigue of modern life, when in fact the root of the problem may lie in that bowl of cereal you eat while watching TV, that piece of cheese that seems so comforting, that fruit you consider healthy, or that processed snack that promises to be light but hides devastating metabolic secrets. If you recognize yourself in this description, if you are part of the group of people who wake up wondering why they don't feel rested, if you have spent entire nights tossing and turning in bed, or if your partner has mentioned that you make strange noises in your sleep, then you need to understand that there is a scientific explanation for all of this and more. Importantly, there is a solution that does not involve expensive medications or invasive procedures. Today, I'll share with you exactly which 4 snacks researchers have identified as the main saboteurs of restful sleep. I'll explain the exact mechanism by which they impair your nighttime breathing, and I'll provide practical alternatives that can completely transform the quality of your nighttime sleep. More than that, I'll show you how small changes in your nighttime eating habits can be the key to solving health problems you never even realized were connected to your sleep. What you're about to discover isn't just academic theory. It's based on studies with thousands of participants, polysomnography analyses that reveal frightening patterns, and data showing how reversing these habits can restore not only sleep quality but also daytime energy, mental clarity, mood, and even aspects of cardiovascular health you'd never associate with a simple late-night snack. If you've come this far because you're tired of waking up tired, because you want to finally understand why your body can't get adequate rest, or because you suspect something deeper is going on with your sleep, then you're in the right place. I'll guide you through the latest discoveries in sleep science, demystify concepts that may be confusing you, and provide a clear, actionable plan so you can start experiencing truly restful nights starting today. Get ready to discover truths about your body that no one has ever told you, and to understand how seemingly simple decisions about what to eat before bed can be determining not only the quality of your sleep but the quality of your life as a whole. If you've come to this video because something resonates with your personal experience, because you recognize the symptoms I mentioned, or because you're determined to finally solve your sleep problems, I want to invite you to join a community of people who share the same challenges and are committed to finding real science-based solutions. I know that dealing with sleep problems can be a lonely and frustrating journey. You may have tried various approaches, consulted different professionals, tried products that promised miracles, and still wake up every morning without feeling truly rested. That's exactly why this channel exists. Here I share not only up-to-date scientific information on sleep and breathing, but also practical strategies you can implement immediately without having to wait for doctor's appointments or invest in expensive equipment. Every video I publish is designed for people like you who deserve to understand what's happening with their bodies and how to regain control over their nights. By subscribing to the channel and turning on notifications, you'll have immediate access to content that can transform your relationship with sleep. You'll be the first to know when I publish new videos on natural techniques to improve nighttime breathing, foods that promote deep sleep, simple exercises that can open your airways, and the latest scientific discoveries that can revolutionize your quality of life. More than that, you'll be joining a community where no one has to suffer in silence. In the video comments, people share their experiences, discoveries, challenges, and victories. It's a space where you can find support, motivation, and most importantly, the certainty that you're not alone on this journey. Each sign-up helps us reach more people who may be experiencing the same struggles you face. People who may not even know that their concentration problems, irritability, weight gain, or low energy levels can be directly related to their sleep quality. Your participation in this community could be the push someone needs to finally seek solutions and regain their quality of life. So if you're ready to discover how small changes can generate big transformations, subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, and let's go together on this journey to truly restorative nights and days with renewed energy. Now let's dive into the science behind these groundbreaking discoveries. The first late-night snack researchers identified as a silent sleep saboteur is something found in virtually everyone's kitchen: dairy products, especially cheese and milk. At first glance, this may seem contradictory. After all, milk has long been associated with relaxation and restful sleep. However, the reality is much more complex than this popular belief suggests. When we consume dairy products close to bedtime, we introduce specific proteins into our bodies that trigger a subtle but significant inflammatory response in the respiratory mucosa. Casein, the main protein in milk, is broken down during digestion into peptides that can stimulate excessive mucus production in the upper airways. Imagine your airways as tubes that need to be completely clear to allow adequate airflow. Now imagine that these tubes begin to become coated with a sticky layer that gradually reduces the space available for breathing. The process doesn't stop there. The lactose in dairy products, when not fully digested, ferments in the intestine, producing gases that exert pressure on the diaphragm. This upward pressure forces the internal organs against the lungs, reducing their ability to fully expand during breathing. It's as if you're trying to breathe deeply while someone gently but constantly tightens a band around your abdomen. Imagine a person who works in an office, comes home after a stressful day, and before bed prepares a cup of warm milk with honey, believing it will help them relax. They fall asleep easily, but during the night their sleep becomes restless. They wake up several times for no apparent reason, toss and turn, and in the morning they feel as if they haven't rested. What they don't realize is that the milk they consumed is causing subtle but persistent swelling in their airways, creating resistance to airflow and forcing their body to work harder to maintain adequate oxygen levels. Studies show that people who eliminate dairy products from their evening meals experience up to a 40% reduction in episodes of fragmented breathing during sleep. This means more continuous nights, fewer involuntary awakenings, and most importantly, more efficient oxygenation of the brain during deep sleep cycles. The second saboteur identified by scientists is even more surprising: foods rich in simple sugars, including fruits consumed close to bedtime. I know this may sound controversial, especially since we've been raised to believe that fruits are always healthy choices. And they are, but the timing of your consumption makes all the difference when it comes to sleep quality. When we consume simple sugars before bed, even those naturally found in fruits, we're creating a metabolic roller coaster that our body will have to manage throughout the night. Initially, there's a spike in blood glucose that stimulates the release of insulin. This process alone is enough to keep our nervous system alert, preventing the natural transition into the deeper stages of sleep. But the situation becomes even more problematic a few hours later when glucose is rapidly metabolized and blood sugar levels begin to drop. This drop triggers emergency mechanisms in the body, including the release of adrenaline and cortisol hormones that are fundamentally incompatible with restful sleep. It's like trying to relax in a hammock while someone rings a fire alarm on the other side of the house. Consider a person who has the habit of eating an apple or a banana before bed, believing they're making a nutritious choice. They can fall asleep normally, but around 3 or 4 in the morning, they wake up with a strange feeling of inner agitation. Their heart may be beating a little faster, their mind may be more active than it should be, and they may feel unexplainably thirsty. What's happening is that their body is fighting nocturnal hypoglycemia, releasing stress hormones that not only fragment sleep, but also excessively relax the throat muscles, predisposing them to episodes of respiratory obstruction. Research reveals that fluctuating blood glucose levels during the night are directly correlated with increased laxity in the soft tissues of the upper airway. Simply put, when your blood sugar levels rise and fall dramatically during sleep, the muscles that keep your throat open lose tone, creating ideal conditions for respiratory pauses. The third item on the list of nighttime saboteurs is particularly insidious because it disguises itself as a healthy option: whole grains and granola, consumed as a late-night snack. At first glance, these foods seem ideal. They're rich in fiber, contain B vitamins, and are often marketed as relaxing options due to their magnesium and tryptophan content. However, what manufacturers fail to highlight is that these foods are also extremely dense in complex carbohydrates, which require an intensive and prolonged digestive process. When you consume a bowl of cereal or granola before bed, you're essentially delegating to your body a significant metabolic task that should be performed during your waking hours. The process of digesting these complex carbohydrates requires your body to maintain a high level of metabolic activity throughout the night. This means your autonomic nervous system can't fully transition into the rest and regeneration mode that characterizes restorative sleep. It's like trying to meditate while running a marathon. Technically possible, but fundamentally counterproductive. Even more problematic is the fact that many of these grains contain significant amounts of insoluble fiber that ferment in the colon, producing gases that put pressure on the diaphragm and interfere with respiratory mechanics. Imagine a person who, looking for a healthier alternative to processed snacks, decides to eat a bowl of oatmeal with berries before bed. They feel virtuous about this nutritious choice, but during the night, their abdomen becomes distended, their breathing becomes more labored, and they wake up feeling bloated and uncomfortable. The fourth and final saboteur on this list is perhaps the most surprising of all processed foods, labeled light diet or low calorie. These products are often chosen by people who believe they are making conscious choices for their health and weight, especially when they feel like snacking before bed. The reality is that these foods are loaded with artificial sweeteners, preservatives, stabilizers, and a variety of chemical additives that act as subtle but persistent disruptors of the neurological processes that regulate sleep. Substances like aspartame sucralose and acesulfame K interfere with the natural production of melatonin, the hormone responsible for regulating our sleep-wake cycles. Additionally, many of these products contain monosodium glutamate in its various disguised forms, a compound that acts as a neurostimulant and can keep certain areas of the brain activated even when we should be transitioning into deep sleep. It's like trying to sleep while someone constantly whispers in your ear. I need to pause here to ask a question that may completely change your perspective on your own nighttime habits. How many times have you found yourself in the kitchen after dinner, searching for something to satisfy a specific craving, something that promises comfort or relaxation before you head to bed? How many nights have you chosen a snack, thinking you were being kind to yourself, offering a small treat to end the day, never realizing that this seemingly innocent choice could be completely sabotaging your sleep quality? Have you ever stopped to connect your late-night eating habits with the quality of your morning awakening? Have you ever noticed if there's a correlation between what you eat after 7 p.m. and how you feel when you open your eyes the next day? Perhaps you've noticed that some mornings you wake up with a dry mouth, a sore throat, or a feeling like you haven't been able to breathe deeply all night, but you've never made the connection with that little piece of cheese that felt so comforting the night before. What I want you to understand is that there's no judgment here. We all have nighttime rituals that bring us psychological comfort, and food often serves as an emotional regulation mechanism after stressful or challenging days. The problem isn't the desire for comfort, but the lack of information about how certain choices may be working against our goals of rest and recovery. If anything I've shared so far resonated with you, if you recognized your own habits in these descriptions, or if you've begun to make connections between your nighttime behavior and the quality of your sleep, I'd love for you to share your experience in the comments. It could be something as simple as writing that you have the habit of drinking milk before bed, or that you always snack on something sweet while watching TV, or even that you've never thought about the connection between late-night snacking and sleep quality. Every comment you leave here doesn't just help me create more relevant content for your specific needs. Your comments create a support network for others who may be watching this video and feeling isolated in their struggles with sleep issues. Someone reading your comment may finally understand that they're not alone in their challenges, or they may find the motivation they need to make positive changes to their routine. Furthermore, when you share your experience, you're helping to break the silence surrounding sleep problems. Many people suffer in silence, attributing their symptoms to other causes, or simply accepting that waking up tired is normal. Your comment could be the turning point in someone's life, the moment they decide they deserve truly restful nights. Understanding the mechanisms by which these 4 types of snacks sabotage sleep is just the first step. Now let's dive into practical alternatives that can completely transform your nighttime experience. The good news is that there are delicious and satisfying options that can not only prevent the problems we've discussed, but also actively promote deeper, more restful sleep. When it comes to replacing dairy products, the key is finding alternatives that offer the same comforting sensation without the inflammatory effects. Plant-based milks like almond, coconut, or oat can provide the creaminess and comforting flavor you're looking for, but without the problematic proteins that clog your airways. The important thing is to choose versions without added sugar, and preferably enriched with magnesium, a mineral that promotes muscle relaxation. To replace cravings for sweets or fruit, consider options that offer natural sweetness without causing dramatic blood sugar fluctuations. A small serving of walnuts or almonds can satisfy cravings for texture and flavor, while providing protein and healthy fats that stabilize blood sugar throughout the night. If you absolutely crave something sweet, a teaspoon of raw honey may be a better option than processed fruit or sweets, as honey contains compounds that can promote natural melatonin production. When it comes to grains and complex carbohydrates, the strategy is to focus on options that are easier to digest and less likely to cause fermentation. A small serving of oatmeal prepared with plant-based milk and a pinch of cinnamon can provide the feeling of fullness you seek, but with a much lower digestive impact than commercial cereals loaded with aggressive fiber. Replacing processed foods requires a more significant mindset shift. Instead of seeking out artificial versions of comfort foods, consider whole natural options that offer genuine satisfaction. A small piece of dark chocolate with at least 70% cacao can satisfy sweet cravings while providing magnesium and relaxation-promoting compounds. Imagine a person who traditionally ended their nights with a bowl of cereal with milk and fruit. After understanding the mechanisms we've discussed, they decide to try a small serving of unsweetened coconut yogurt with some chopped almonds and a pinch of cinnamon. Initially, they may find the new option less satisfying than the previous one, but after a few weeks of consistency, they notice they're waking up more rested, with less nasal congestion, and with an overall feeling of having slept more soundly. The timing of these changes is also crucial. Ideally, any late-night snacks should be consumed at least 2 hours before your usual bedtime. This allows more intensive digestive processes to complete before bed, minimizing disruptions to your sleep quality. A particularly effective strategy is to create a nighttime ritual that replaces snacking with activities that promote relaxation. This could include a warm bath, a few pages of reading, simple breathing techniques, or even brewing a relaxing herbal tea like chamomile or valerian. If you find this information helpful and relevant to your situation, please leave a comment with the number 1 below this video. This helps me understand how many people are benefiting from this content and motivates me to continue creating videos that address the specific aspects of sleep issues that most affect our audience. Transitioning to new nighttime eating habits doesn't have to be radical or extreme. Small changes implemented gradually tend to be more sustainable and effective than drastic transformations that are difficult to maintain long-term. Start by choosing one of the 4 saboteurs we discussed and focus on finding a satisfying alternative to it. Once this change becomes natural and automatic, you can address the other elements. It's also important to understand that some symptoms may temporarily worsen during the transition period. This is completely normal and expected. Your body is adapting to new metabolic patterns, and it may take a few weeks for the benefits to become fully evident. During this time, be kind to yourself and stay focused on your long-term goals. Monitoring your response to changes is also crucial. Keep a simple diary where you record what you consumed in the last few hours before bed and how you felt upon waking the next day. This can help you identify specific patterns and adjust your choices based on your individual responses. Remember that everyone is unique, and what works perfectly for one person may need adjustments for another. The key is to experiment consciously, observe the results, and make modifications based on your own experience and needs. The most important thing about everything we've discussed today is understanding that you have control over the quality of your sleep through the choices you make. Sleep problems aren't a permanent sentence, and small, conscious changes can generate significant transformations in your quality of life. You deserve to wake up rested with energy, mental clarity, and enthusiasm to face each new day. Your nights can become genuine periods of recovery and regeneration, rather than battles against inadequate breathing and fragmented sleep. It all starts with being aware of how your nighttime dietary choices are impacting your most fundamental physiological processes. If this video shed new light on your nighttime habits, if you discovered connections you hadn't noticed before, or if you're motivated to make positive changes to your routine, I'd love it if you liked this video and shared it with others who might also benefit from this information. Every like and share helps us reach more people who may be struggling with sleep problems without understanding their underlying causes. In the comments, share with us which of the 4 saboteurs surprised you the most, or share your own experiences with late-night snacking and sleep quality. Your participation enriches our community and can provide valuable insights for future content. If you want to continue learning about natural strategies to improve your sleep, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Soon, I'll be posting a video on breathing techniques that can be practiced in bed to promote deep relaxation, and another on how to create the ideal environment for restful sleep without spending a lot of money. Remember, your nights have the power to transform your days. Start making choices today that honor your need for true rest, and prepare to discover a more rested, energized, and healthy version of yourself. Until the next video, sleep well and wake up refreshed.